Hi, I'm Tim Bradner with Alaska Legislative Digest. Welcome to Capitol Views, and welcome today to newly elected Representative Ron Gillham from District 30 on the Kenai Peninsula. Welcome, Ron. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Ron, you're new to the legislature this year, and maybe I think would be good is just describe your own background, where you came from, the kind of work you've done, and then we could talk about the district.
Okay. Well, I unfortunately, I grew up in California, but I got to Alaska as quick as I could. I grew up on the Sacramento River and moved to Alaska a little over 35 years ago. I've done a lot of work out in the inlet, mainly in the oil field. I spent 16 years with VICO, and then I moved over to ASRC, where I spent another 16. Had a 1-year hiatus where I was hired as a superintendent for Gillham and built them a new shop and office complex there on the peninsula. And I run heavy equipment, so it's been pretty enjoyable. Met a lot of people. Probably one of the biggest projects I ran was a $65 million expansion at Tesoro, and running over 200 individuals that you gotta kind of keep in line. I figured to help me down here with keeping a few people in line, if you can actually do that.
But Tesoro is one of the economic kind of linchpins of the northern Kenai. It's a refinery that produces a lot of jet fuel for Anchorage Airport.
Yeah, and actually it's now Marathon. So I keep calling it Tesoro because of what I used to.
Yeah, that dates us all a little bit.
Yeah,
it's now Marathon. And of course, originally in the old days, there wasn't a Marathon Oil. It's a different company, but the name is very familiar to longtime Alaskans.
Right.
Ron, tell us about the district. It can be, I guess, just best described as the North Kenai Peninsula.
Actually, it's kind of in the middle. District 30 basically encompasses Soldotna and Kenai. It's probably the smallest district on the peninsula, but we have about 20,000 people, and it's growing. With the unconstitutional mandates and all the lockdowns in Anchorage, we're getting people from Anchorage moving down. Table Stakes has opened a restaurant in Kenai, so it's good for us because we get more people coming in. But basically, it runs from just north of the city limits in Kenai to, if you're familiar with K Beach Road, it runs down K Beach Road and then back up Mackey Lake Road. So it's a very small district, but for the number of people, it's probably the most diverse.
District on the peninsula. How's the economy doing, Ron? Is it doing reasonably well given the situation with the loss of the tourist season?
Surprisingly, yes, we are doing pretty good. Our mayor has kept the peninsula open up. So, unlike Anchorage shutting all the businesses down, we have pretty much everything opened up. The fishing industry, on the other hand, we have lost quite a bit because of regulations. I personally know of 18 of the charter businesses that shut down. I have some friends that had commercial sites that have basically shut down. Until we can get that back under control, it's going to be kind of tough. But I think we can do it. I think we can bring everything back. The fishing on the peninsula is probably the most important part of our district, and I represent both commercial and sport fishing. So we gotta. The way I look at that is, if one of the fisheries fails, then we all fail. So coming to Juneau is one of the main things for me, is to help the fishery if I can. Like I said, right now with the feds shutting down the middle part of Cook Inlet, that was a bad thing. It's very difficult to try and to try to keep everything in line. You know, when you're dealing with the feds, they don't see things like we do here. So, you know, they're dealing with stuff down in the States, and, you know, Cook Inlet is a very unique body of water. You know, you've got a half a dozen different fisheries in that body of water, and we have to keep all of them viable. So it's kind of going to be a little bit different type of structure.
It's complicated.
Yes, it's complicated.
Ron, if I can switch to another major industry for the inlet, the petroleum industry, how is I know production in Cook Inlet is a far cry from what it was, but is the petroleum industry still viable?
Yes, it is. They're drilling. They do a lot of cleaning, what they call coil work, where they will send tools down a hole, it will clean it out, and it just keeps pumping gas and oil. So out in the gas field, they do that quite often out on the platforms. My son works on one of the platforms, and they're still pumping a lot of oil. So it is a viable industry.
It's amazing to me that some of those platforms have got to be 50 years old at this point. And Swanson River, you know, our first oil field is in your district, I guess, and it's still pumping.
No, actually, Swanson River is in District 29.
Okay, well, it's nearby.
Yep, it is. But yeah, the inlet, the gas and oil in the inlet, it's been there. I believe the first platform was brought in 1968, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, there's 17 out there. No, I take it back, 16. They took one of them out. So there's still quite a bit of oil and gas coming in from them platforms.
But those are good jobs, good, well-paying jobs.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Well, Ron, thank you for joining us today. We're out of time, so I hope to have a chance to talk with you more.
All right. Well, I look forward to it.
Yeah, particularly about the complexities of the fishing business down there. We need to straighten out some of the problems.
Yeah, it's definitely have to do that and keep everybody going.
Great. Thank you very much, Ron.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.